Hi, congratulations on taking on email marketing. Look, even though there is so many options out in the marketplace with Google Ads, Facebook advertising, search engine optimization, printed material, there's just so many options out there that are working really well. Email marketing is still the number one. It's still the number one in delivering effective results and that return on investment. Why? Because everyone still uses email, whether it's for a personal reason or business. So if you're sending them something that is of value to them, something that they're interested in, or they're using your product or service, and if you keep your message simple, you will get results too. All right, today is about how you go about in setting up your email marketing system so you can send out your first campaign. All right, when you get sent your login, you will log in, and this would be the first screen that you see. If you're lucky to be with us, we'll be looking after your website and your customer relationship management system. You will also have access to all those other products within this one system. Because remember, we've got one system, one login, one database. So with the email marketing system, the first thing you're wanting to do is you need to decide what you're going to be doing with your emails. Now, we've sent you an email with a couple of ideas of things that you could do. Now, emails can be used for newsletters, it can be used for giving your clients update on products and services. It can be used to be sending out some helpful tips and guides on how your clients can use your products and services better and how you can help them. It can also be used for doing promotional emails, and then there's a variety of trigger emails that you can get into. But let's not get complicated, let's just focus on setting things up. So say the first email that you want to do is to send an email to your clients to let them know how you're doing. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you need to set up the custom fields. Now work out what database you have, whether you're starting from scratch or you're using one that you've already got set up. And it might be in your accounting system, it might be in your point of sale software application. You may have a list, or you may just have a stockpile of business cards sitting on your desk with everyone's email address. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we need to set up the database so then we can import or start adding people's email addresses and contact details into the system. So let's decide that we're going to use this, and let's pretend you're an accountant. Alright, so every email system has these stock standard custom fields that are already sitting in there. First name, last name, email, and mobile number. Password is there to be used to help some better results from the integration between your website and email marketing, if you have both. So say I would like to add a couple of other custom fields. I want to add a custom field that may be, let's say the state that my client is based. So see here, as I'm entering this in, I've got the option of deciding whether it's a small text, so I want to just have a small amount of information. It's a select box, meaning they've got an option of one or two. So in the case of me setting up states, we're they're only based in one state. Then you got the multi-selection box, which might be type of industries that they feel that they work in, address, date, and file. So let's just go and set up a select box for state. So the first state we want to do is Northern Territory, and then we just go through the list until we have them all added. Alright, so for the purpose of today's example, I'll just get a few added. Alright, is this visible to the contact? Now, what this field means is if someone decides that they want to unsubscribe or check out their details, they are able to, if this is made as visible, they can see those details. Now, as a business, you may decide to categorize your clients into type of client, whether they're A, B, C, or D. Now, that's obviously a field that you're not wanting the client to see. So, visible to client, in this case, we're happy for them to see. Is it required? Now, this is if you've got like a sign up box or something happening on your website. When they fill out the details, if they don't enter in a state, then it will come up with an error. So this is whether it is essential that every client or contact that you have in your database has the station. In this case, it's not required. Here we hit save. And then all of a sudden we've got that added there. So the other thing I'm wanting to add in here, because we're an accountant, we may want to know the business name. Alright, so this again, this is small text, visible to the contact. Is it required? No, because as an accountant we may have individual clients as well as business clients. Okay, so let's say another one that they want to add the category type of the client. Okay, so thinking I'm a small an accounting office, I might have clients that we do their individual tax returns as well as their business returns. So let's do a multi-select for this option. So there's an individual, and then we'll add another one that may be business, and then add another one. They may do their self-managed super funds for them. Okay. Again, visible to contact is required? No. So probably not visible to contact. We want to save that categorization ourselves. Alright, and then I might add another custom field. I might want to ask if they're active a client, so whether they're an active client with us, regularly doing business or not. And again, this will be a select box, and this will be active, lapsed, and maybe potential. Visible to contact, definitely not, and not required. Save. Alright, so now we've got our custom fields set up. Now we've got the option, and this is again used if you're wanting to do a sign up form on your website, which is another training session separate to this, but you've got the ability that you can just, by putting your things on the dots, be able to move it around and change the order. So we probably want first name, last name, then we probably want to know their email address, business name, and then all the key information that we want, mobile and state. Alright, and then we can save that sort order. Alright, so we've done the first thing, which was setting up the custom fields. Alright, now we need to set up the groups. Okay, again for this training, I want to keep it simple. So say we're going to be sending out an email campaign to people who are clients, then it may be to people that sign up on the website. So let's just set up those two groups. Alright, as you can see, it's pretty simple and easy to use this system. So let's add a group, and the group may be clients. Visible to contact, again no. You can colorize it if you want to make it nice. Alright, and then we've got the option of we wanted to send up as a website sign up. Oops, we're getting a sign up happening on our website, and then the other one we may want to add is the potential client. Visible contact, definitely not, and let's choose another color. Alright, so now we've set up our groups. Alright, so the next thing is we want to be able to add contacts. Now you've got two ways of adding contacts. You can either add them in one by one by clicking on contacts and then simply clicking on the call to action button, which was add a contact. And here you see it's all the fields that we set up beforehand. Alright, so I could add a company All right. Now by doing it this way, I need to make sure that I've got all the details set up for this company. So we're going to call it the test company. And just by default, it has these standard address fields, but you don't need to add all of that in. All right. So the first name is Tracy, good name. Last name, we'll call them the test. And then we just simply add in their email address. So there may be test, oops, at thetest.com. Alright, so you can enter in the whole pile of other details for them. Their state, are they an individual client, are they active? Yeah, they are, and they're a part of our clients. Alright, so you've got the ability, you could add them all one by one. Alright, so let's look at the other option. You've also got the option that you can import your contacts. So now you may have had your contacts already set up in your system, and it may be in your accounting system, or as I said, you may have just decided to pull together a spreadsheet of clients for the business cards that have been sitting on your desk. Alright, so here's an example of a business list, a contact list. And so they tend to be broken up into fields. So in this case, first name, last name, their email address, all the fields that we wanted to set up. Alright, so now we want to import this. So before we do that, we need to save the import list as what's called a comma separated value. In other words, a CSV file. So whether you're using Excel or Google Sheets, you've often got the ability that you can export the product as a CSV. So here we go, we want to export it as a CSV. Alright, so now I've got that exported. You've saved it as a CSV, you can upload the file. So you can either click on this and it will access your computer to view all the files that you have in the system, or if you've recently downloaded like I have, you can easily just click it and drag it and drop it in that area and it will save the file. Yes, this is a comma. Will I allow update duplicates? So if I had a database of contacts already in here and this is a more up-to-date list, what that will do is it will overwrite everything that's in the system based on matching the email address. So if I have a contact in there at thetest.com.au, that email address, and I import the list, and the list has the same email address, but this time I've got things like their address details or something else, it will then update the details for that particular contact only. Alright, so that's what that means. Okay, so we're going to update the duplicates. Yes, set the contact status. In this case, we want them to be active, which generally they are. And because these are clients, I really want to add them to my clients list. All right. Now, because we are wanting to comply with Australian spam laws, you also need to tick that you have owned this contact list. It's not something that you have purchased or anything. It's something that you physically own. Next. Alright, so now you can see from that previous list that I had, that I exported as a CSV file, is now sitting in here. Now all we've got to simply do is attach the field to the correct field in this new database. So in this case, this is the first name. This case, this is the last name. In this case, this is the email address. And see, as we exported it out of, say, a financial system, it may have had an account number. Well, we don't need that information. So I could have deleted it at this stage before I exported, but you've also got the option to ignore that column as you're going through. Then we select, in this case, our state, and here we go for the category of business, and then we've got the client status, whether they're active or not. Alright, So then we've selected all those. Now obviously this first row, which is just all the headings, we don't actually want that to be imported. And so now we just simply click on this and the import will happen. Now this, depending on the size of the number of contacts that you're importing, it will determine how long this takes. You can simply just go into the contact list and you can just see them all popping up over time. Okay, so all I needed to do there was quickly refresh that and I can see all the contacts are here. Now we've set everything up, we're at the exciting stage of building our first email campaign. So you can carry down the process of here and click to create, or you simply click on the left here for email campaigns and go to campaign list, and that's exactly the same place where you can go to create your first campaign. Now at the moment we don't have any other campaigns, but when you create an email campaign you've got the option of doing it from scratch, which is brand new, or you can copy a previous campaign. And the good thing about that is if you've got a campaign that you like the look and feel of, it makes it so much simpler that if you just need to copy from a previous one, saving for you to having to set things up. Alright, so let's go and create our first campaign. So first off we're going to come up with our name of our campaign name. This reference is just for you. Once you start building up your campaigns, it just makes it a lot easier for you to sort and search for. So let's call this one cash flow tips. Alright, now we're going to do an email subject. So this is the line that just makes the decision whether someone's going to open it or not. So you want to make it simple, not too long. It kind of is like a summary of what people are going to find in the email when they open it. Don't make it too salesy, and you can even personalize it. So let's go and personalize it. So you can personalize it with anything that you have saved in your database. Okay, typically you go with first name, and so let's go for, here's a great one, first name. Here are some tips to help you with your cash flow right now. So next we're going to select the email format. Now for you that have just started and just using doing a free version of our tool, the first thing you'll go to is our free template gallery, and in there you'll see a large variety of options that you can choose for your template. From email, you'll need the from email to be from a person. You know, if you send something from info at or contact at or support at, tends to be a generics, because the whole thing about email marketing is building up a connection with people. So it's often better to use a person's email, or if you like you can still use a generic one for the company and then put the person's name, so you've got that in there, so you know exactly who it's coming from. Publish, this tick is if someone has a website with us and we've got it connecting, the campaign automatically can be added if you've got the news listing tool to the website. Alright, next, so this is where you get to see all the different email campaigns that you can use in the free template gallery, and they can be sorted by, you know, birthday, Christmas, New Year's, different events. So we're going to go to general and let's do one, we'll just do a simple one with headers and text. So we'll select that tab. Alright, so we've got two versions. Now we've got the HTML version and the text version. The HTML version can come with pretty images and links and the likes, and then the text version is simply straight text. Now the reality is most people with their email agents or their softwares that they're using, 95% of people accept HTML versions, but you've still got that 5% that's still just like it as a text only. I'll show you that later. So let's go into the HTML version, the pretty version, and we've selected our template, and here it is. So our system works on a click and drag situation. If you've ever used any of our web products, you'll find it pretty much the same. Okay, so the first thing we're probably wanting to do is add our logo. So we can go and edit it in this box. Someone's already set it up for us. And what we're going to do this time, instead of doing it as a text, or because you can put your company name or your web address there, let's go and add a logo. So let's go and add an image, and we just want it to appear here. So you click and drag the spot that you're wanting it to go into, and then you've got 3 different options here, but we want to use the pencil one, which is the edit. Okay, so you've got the option that you can choose from your computer, or you can have already preset it up in the image and file manager. But let's go from computer, and then I choose the file, I choose the one that I want, and then I open it, and then I can upload it from here. Perfect. We can have the advisory title and alt text. That's simply if someone has a software program that is reading them their email. So it's just handy to add something in. So we'll just put toolbox. Oops, toolbox logo. And we'll do the same down here. If you obviously want to link it to your website, you can simply just put in the web address here. And then it will link to that site. Alright, so we don't need that one anymore, so we'll get rid of that. And then I want to change the phone number to being my own. So let's just go here. So my number. And I've got the option of changing the text here, the styles that I want. So you can notice that it's changing up the top there. Okay, so those are the standards. Or I can go in the back end and I can change it to being what I would like. So I can change the font family, the font size. I tend to stick with the font that they've chosen. Oh, let's just go for 16, a little bit too small. Let's go for 18. Perfect. I may decide that I want that bold. Okay, so there's a whole range of ways I can style it. Alright, save and close. Then we have got our where we want to put our content in. Again, we click on the edit, and then we can change this content that's in here to what we want. So we want to personalize it. So hi, and we can enter the person's details. So like we did in the subject line, we can insert the custom field of first name if we like. Beautiful. And what that will do is when it sends out the email campaign, it will pick up the first name of the individual. Remember, we uploaded these. Alright. So this is where I put my text. Okay. Or I can cut and paste it in from something I've done previously. Alright, so part of this you may want to have a link to a website. Go to our website for more information, and then here you can simply select the information that you're wanting to be a link, and using this button here you can click on it and link it to the web address that you want. So the webconsole.com. Oops. Okay. So the icons are similar to a lot of ones that you'll see, but rather than complicating it, I'll just show you some of the key ones. So obviously if I had typed up my content somewhere else, I can cut it in there and then simply come along and paste it. Alright, I've got the normal reverse actions on things. I can do a spell check, which will be interesting. So obviously it hasn't heard of any of these words before. I've got the ability that I can add an image. I can embed a video. So this is when you have created a video on YouTube or Vimeo. You are able to connect that in here. Now it's actually recommended that you don't submit a link. Embed your video into your email campaign, because it has a higher chance of it not getting through to your recipients. It's recommended if you do want an image to add an image and then link them to the actual YouTube video. but you've got the ability, you can do that. You can add a line in here. Okay, you've got the ability, as I did the custom fields. The standard things, you know, you can bold, you can italic, you can underline, you can do bullet lists or numbering. So numbering, okay. Normal things, you know, you can shift things over by a column, all those standard fonts that you're aware of. So those are the key elements. You've also got the ability to stylize it here, but again, my recommendation is to keep it simple. The more different style fonts, different colors, different sizes, different font styles, it makes the message a lot more non-attractive and inviting for people to want to read. Save and close. Alright, so like I said, you've got the ability, you can bring in a heading if you want to, you know, so, you know, this is tips to help you with your cash flow. And then you can play around and chipping down the size if you like. Alright. You can add an image in here, so wherever you click and get the blue bar, that will be where the cursor will drop the element. Go in and edit it. Again, like what we did with the logo, choose your file and you can upload it. Okay, if you don't want that element that you did anymore, you can change it here and delete. Alright, so in the footer text, so as a base, they've got something here, so you can type in the wording or your web address. Again, if you like, you can link it. Okay, and then I can stylize it. So in this case, I'm going to do the background first and edit that. So we have got a standard color here, but I can choose whatever color, or if I got a particular branding color that's part of my branding that I would like to use, I can do, or I can simply select. Okay. So now, obviously the black writing doesn't look so good on that background fuchsia, so then we can change that to being a particular color. So you highlight and you can select the color here, or you've obviously got the ability that you can stylize it in the background. That looks much better. Alright, so that's pretty much having doing your email campaign. So let's save and go to the next stage. Now, as I said, there's about 5% of the market that don't receive the email campaign. So this is where you'll go in here, select the icon here, which will basically pull all the text that you had from the pretty HTML version. And then this is where you just go through and stylize it to change the details of the things that you may not want to show in here. And you can move things around. Alright, and then we go back to the previous page. Alright, so the next step is we want to comply with the Australian spam laws and international spam laws, where we must enable people that they can unsubscribe. So there's a range of different options here. I tend to go for the bottom one because I like it because it's a little bit more friendly. Then we decide who we're wanting it to go to. We've got the ability that you can send it to everyone in your contacts, or you can send it to a select group. So remember, we set up the groups being clients, potential clients, website sign up. Okay, so you may decide that you just want this to go to clients. All right, well, for this purpose, let's send it to everyone. All right, the next step is something that I highly recommend, is that you send yourself a test email. So you want to send the pretty HTML version as well as the plain text version. Now you want to do that because you want to see what it looks like, but you also want to see what it looks like on your desktop and in your mobile phone. So you can just test out just to make sure what you've done looks good. Then what I always do once I'm happy with an email, before I schedule it to send out, I always send it to a colleague or a friend or someone to go through and check. Just have a look over it. They may pick up things that you may have missed, like forgetting to insert a link, or your grammar, or your English, or your spelling, etc. All right. And then once you hit submit, it will then tell you that the test emails have been received. And then you'll go into your email system, whether it's Outlook or G Suite, and view the email and confirm that you're okay. Now, once you're okay, now remember, you can, if you're not okay, you can jump through any of these tabs here to edit the email, change the recipients, etc. Alright, so we're going to now go to the next stage, which is schedule. You've got the ability that you can schedule to send today. Now you can send it immediately, or you can decide which time zone that you're wanting to send it. Alright, notice it will only show the times for what's left of today's day. Or I can send it for a future date. So then I decide the time that I want it to go and the date that I want it to go. Alright. As you can see from this, I can schedule it to go multiple days. So if I'm an accountant doing something for my BAS, giving people a reminder that this is time to put together their BAS along with the checklist, I can schedule it in advance for the whole year. Alright, then I've got the ability that I can do it as a trigger-based email. Now, trigger-based emails is as someone joins a group or comes on board as a client, you can send them a series of emails. So say I set up this email that has a welcome email to new clients. So welcome to XYZ Accountant Company. I would like you to meet some of the key players, team members that we have at the organization. And you may have a photo with a link and slight profile on and some of the key people and some of your key contact details. So you may send that 0 days after they became a client. Then you may send them something like, let's say, like a week later, which might be, I hope you're enjoying working with us. Here are the top key resources that we have on our website that may be of value. So it may be some checklists, or it may be this is the area that we put our latest topical news. So it may be a link to your blogs, etc. All right. And then you've got the ability that you could do reoccurrence schedules. So some of our clients may be a gym or a business coach that may send out a goal sheet to their clients, once a month. This is where you've got the ability that you can do it. But in this case, we want to send today and we want to send it immediately. All right. The next thing is you've got the ability, you can post to Twitter. So you can send a tweet to your Twitter account. So obviously you've already previously set up in the settings area your Twitter details. And then as soon as you select that, it will send a tweet to your Twitter account, providing people the teaser and the teaser that you want and the link for them to view the full campaign. Then you've got the ability that you can send it to unopened. So say for instance you decided that you wanted to send it out on a Saturday, this campaign, and then because it's an accountant you may think, well, maybe my clients don't really read their emails in the weekend, so I want to send it to them 4 days afterwards at a time that enables them, if they didn't open it the first time, that I've got a bite at the cherry that they're going to open it. Alright, and then you hit finish. Now when you hit finish, what you're going to see is it's going to tell you that the email is going to be sent to X number of contacts, and these are the number of contacts that I've uploaded in all my contacts list into the database marketing system. And then you say yes or no, and then it goes. There you go, you've done your first campaign. So what I want everyone to do is just go in and play with the system, set things up. Look, we're here if you need any help. If you'd like us to, come up with some designs for you, or you've got a bigger database or whatever. So there's some optional extras that you can add on. But what we've given you here is a gift that enables you to start building your database and start playing around setting up some email campaigns, so you can go on and do this regularly. Because remember, at the beginning I said email marketing is still the number one most effective, cost effective marketing out. And if you Google it online, you'll see it mentioned by all marketers, all businesses, and there's so much stats to back this up. So please, it takes a while to get into the routine of using the system, but please persevere, get stuck in and do use it, because it's such a valuable tool that will deliver a great return for your business. Take care and enjoy. Bye.